Hello, hi, welcome back to Adventures in Music with me, Jim, where we listen to, talk about, and do all sorts of things musicy. Today, we're going to be talking about a subject which is pretty big. It is a massive one. What is music? Now, it's not only what is music, but why is music, and why is music important? I'm not going to attempt to make a video where I talk about music theory or about the technicalities of playing an instrument or how to understand rhythm or to count time or what key changes mean, what keys mean. I'm not going to talk about any of that. And I'm not the best person to talk about music theory. I'm not a professor in music, as a Doug would be, or Rick Beato, for example. So there are 1,000 other channels out there who talk about that side of what music is. What I'm interested in is what is it about this human-made sound that resonates, no pun intended, that connects, that has a deep, meaningful impact on us. What is it? Why? What is it that's happening there? I made a video about 4 years ago with the same title, and this is kind of going to be sort of running over some of the same ground of that. But it's got me thinking in the last few days. I really want to sort of redo this, revisit it, tart it up a little bit, bring it back out of retirement, because it's important stuff. Well, it is to me, and I think it's just worth talking about a little bit. And really, what has spurred me on is that a video that I made earlier this week, and I think you probably guessed the one, about Love Bites, listening to some music by this new to me band, Love Bites, and the reaction of the audience to that video. And it kind of, I really, really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the music. It was good fun. It did what I hoped it was going to do, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And sort of like ready to move on. Let's go and sort of check some more stuff out. And obviously, I'll be listening to some more again in the future, but I want to kind of just listen to something else now. And the video itself, or the music of this band, has kind of split opinions and split the audience a little bit. And I don't want to kind of go over some old ground now that I did already with another video to that, which kind of went down like a lead balloon. But if you look at any of my videos going back over 6 years, it doesn't really matter who the band is that we're listening to, who the artist is. There will be, without question, somewhere within the comments, someone stipulating that this is the greatest band of all time. And it happens over and over and over again. When it becomes a deafening noise, it becomes very, very difficult to sort of like concentrate and to think about things. So that's kind of what prompted me to make the video a few days ago about the Love Bites music. But it isn't an exclusively Love Bites thing, and I just want to explore this phenomenon a little bit and what it means. Everybody who makes a comment saying this is the greatest band of all time is up against someone else saying that about a different band. Now, either this means that everybody is wrong, or, more is the point, and I think this is closer to the truth, everybody is right. Because if you think about it from a personal point of view and how you personally listen to music, not the tribe that you're with, not the group of people around you, but you personally, yes, for you, this is the greatest band of all time. And that makes sense, doesn't it? Music, as is the case with any art form at all, is completely personal. And it's how you yourself, listening to it, interpret it, interact with it, makes it what it is and what makes it what it means to you. I found it before with fans of Tool. Now, undeniably, Tool is a fantastic band, absolutely incredible band, amazing musicians, incredible songwriting skills. The lyrics are mind bending, and the presentation of the combined output of the drums, the guitar, the bass, and the vocals is awe inspiring. And the mantra of the Tool Army is that this is truly the greatest band in the world. And this is the music that's the zenith of where music can possibly get to, and nothing else can possibly come close. Everybody else's output is mediocre in comparison. And there's kind of like a toxicity about that, because it's kind of sort of just shits on everybody else's music, and that's not a good place to be. And you do get that across different artists, different bands, different sets of fans. I totally understand there's a passion, and there's excitement, and there's a real sense of belonging when you find your tribe. You want to be with your fellow fans who support a band. But to exclude all other music is not only demeaning and devaluing to people who don't quite agree with what you're saying, but you're also, I think probably more importantly, doing yourselves a huge injustice and a disservice by ignoring or not listening to other stuff that is out there. What makes some music special to us and not for others is the completely unique path that you have walked in your life to get to this moment where we are at now. Every life experience you've had, every note of music that you've heard, every film you've seen, every book you've read, every conversation you've had with friends, with your family, how loving and inclusive your inner family and further afield families, all of this stuff, your society that you're in, has shaped you to be the person you are now. And it's part of that is what has also shaped how you listen to music and your experience of and your exposure to music. So to say that someone who has grown up and lived on the in a ghetto somewhere in maybe South America, they're not going to have the same life experience and exposure to music as someone who was born in and lived in inner London, or someone else who was born and raised and lived in rural, I don't know, southern USA, or in Australia, or in somewhere in Europe. It just every walk of life, every set of experiences and values that you hold dear shapes you, and obviously makes you come to the conclusion of what this piece of music is. Now, from a life point of view, I think music has probably been with us forever. From the moment you were born, maybe before you were born, while you were in your mother's womb, but from the moment you're born, you are exposed to music, be it nursery rhymes or lullabies as a child, or the radio in the kitchen, or the music on television, commercials. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, there is often a musical soundtrack to go with it. There are periods, great long periods during the day, of course, where there is no music. That when you're at work, when you're in an office, if you're in the factory floor, if you're out working in the garden, in the landscape somewhere, you're not with music. But for a lot of the time, you are with music. So it is an important part of our sonic world. We are aware of music. It's there as background noise a lot of the time. But when does this background noise become important? When does it become something more, something that is connecting? It's when we then decide when we think about music being art. and it says something to you. It could be the lyrics, it could be the style of delivery of those lyrics, it could be the music itself. There's an absolutely indoctrinated way of feeling music. We know when something feels sad or when something feels happy, depending whether it's a major or a minor chord. Well, that's been sort of ingrained into us since we were infants. So that's the start of the emotional journey with music, is knowing happy or sad. That's just the start. It's the build up of speed, the intensity, the clever use of shade and light, of loud and quiet, of dynamics, of unexpected directions, of hooks, of tunes, of melody, of harmony, of rhythm, of bass, of treble. There's such a broad spectrum of stuff that you're experiencing when you listen to music that it's incredible that your brain is able to interpret this language. And music is a form of mathematics, really. It is very, very mathematical, but it's not maths that you have to think about. You don't have to understand it. Your brain automatically, somehow, magically translates this language into sound, into magic. And I think music kind of is magic. It's the thing that's able to transfer you anywhere backwards in your life, to any memory you've ever had. A certain sound or a certain piece of music will suddenly take you there. Music can change the mood. It can make you happy. It can bring you down. It can be reflective. It can change you into someone who wants to go and fight. It can change you into someone who wants to win a race. It can change you into someone who wants to be quiet and reflective. It can do any of these things, and nothing has happened. It's just a little bit of sound, and it has changed the chemistry in your brain to be able to do this. It's extraordinary. There are songs that transcend this sort of personal connection to music, to being something bigger and more. And I suppose sort of in my lifetime, there's been 2 or 3 pieces of music that have done that. There's ones that I can completely sort of suddenly connect with and remember, and sort of takes me to a place. Is 3 Lines on My Shirt, a song that was in the charts in the UK in the 1996, the Euros, and it was all about the England team and about the football. And it just, everybody, if that piece of music goes on anywhere, everyone will sing it. And it's absolutely just transcends race, it transcends sex, it transcends everything within this country and the identity. People will immediately sort of hand almost here, so oh yes, and sing along to the song because it meant so much at the time. And it is just absolutely ingrained into our national identity. And all around the world there are bits of music that do that, things that people connect with because they are so of the moment, of the zeitgeist. And it's incredible that, again, it's just sound, and it's done that. And it's one of the amazing things about music. It was just written by 3 guys, and it was just almost like a throwaway song for the Euro 96 football championships. And they don't own it anymore. It's owned by the English population, by the people who live here. We own the song. It's ours. It's part of our subconscious, and it's in here now. It is very, very strange. Another strand to this whole music thing is the sense of belonging. that music has. So music is a touchstone to being in a tribe, if you will. Um, for example, if you're a goth or a metalhead, or your scene is country or hip hop or dance music, um, or you're heavily into sort of urban gang culture, then it's probable and possible that you won't be listening to music that's outside that particular genre because of your pre-described definition of what good music is, or predefined definition of what good music is, because you want to be part of your peer group, of a tribe, and that tribe won't allow you to listen to something different. About 50 years ago, famously, we had two opposing tribes in the UK. We had the mods and the rockers. So the mods were into soul and to R&B, and they dressed in very smart suits, and there was a whole scene. And the rockers were into sort of their Gene Vincent, Bo Diddley, Dwayne Eddy, that sort of stuff, and they rode motorbikes. So you had the motorbike gangs, and you had the scooter gangs, and they would have these sort of running battles and wars at Brighton and other seaside towns around the country. And it is all based on what music do you listen to. You're allowed to listen to a certain sort of music, but not another sort of music. I remember in the 1970s, in the early 80s, when I was starting to listen to Iron Maiden, there's a documentary about the band, and it had some guys standing in the crowd or waiting to go into a gig, talking about people. Oh yeah, we listen to metal, means we wear leather jackets and we wear jeans and boots and stuff. Yeah, we don't. And then talked about sort of people into disco music. Yeah, I don't understand it. It's their silly little shoes and their smart suits. No, that's not right. So it's just fashion. That's part of modern take on sort of music as being part of culture. It's just extraordinary. We kind of now get to the position where we are now, that we have this ridiculous phrase, which I hate, but you see people talking about it all the time, and people make videos about it, about guilty pleasures. Music as a guilty pleasure. What are you guilty of? Listening to something that you enjoy, listening to something that connects, listening to some music. I mean, anybody is and should be able to listen to whatever they like. So what if you like ABBA? So what if you like the Bee Gees? So what if you like the Venga Boys or Taylor Swift? It's a really, really weird phenomenon that we have built this judgment on people because of the way they listen to music, or the sort of music that they listen to. I wonder if there's a guilty pleasure the other way, that people who are Ed Sheeran fans say, "Oh, what's your guilty pleasure?" "Oh, I listened to some Metallica the other day." Or, "Oh, I listened to some Slayer." Ooh. But don't tell anybody. Why not? That'd be so funny, wouldn't it? The opposite way round. I am of the opinion that I'm happy and actually probably motivated and keen to listen to all sorts of music, all sorts of different music. And I will never categorically say out loud to anybody that this, that, or the other is the greatest band in the world, or this, that, or the other music is the greatest band in the world. I'll have my favourite bands, and I've made no secret of what my favourite music is and who my favourite bands are. But I'm always adding to that. In the last 5 or 6 years, since I've had this channel, for example, and I've discovered more music in 5 years than I have in my entire lifetime, I've added to that list of favourite bands over and over and over again. Bands that I perhaps used to listen to years ago that were very important or special to me are just not cutting it anymore. And I've realised that I've missed out on so much. I really just want to keep doing this journey of discovery and finding out more. I mean, it's greedy. I know it's selfish. I'm a very bad person because I'm using you all to help me discover this amazing music to fill my head with and to fill my life with and to bring joy and happiness. But by doing so, I'm sharing it back out again, and it's going back out into the world, into the internet land, to you guys. Hopefully, it's a symbiotic relationship that we are existing with each other and helping each other as we go along. Music is extraordinary. It is the most powerful force in my life, aside from my family. And it always has been and always will be. There are other art forms which I love. Film. I absolutely adore film. I love watching film. Very, very good television is extraordinary as well. I like to read. I like books. But the thing that is more important than anything else, I don't need the pictures. I don't need the lights or the special effects. Music just going in through my ears in stereo is probably more than anything else I'd need. If I lost every other sense that there is, I'd be obviously not a happy chap. But the one thing that would probably break me is if I lost my sense of hearing or being able to hear music. That is the one thing that is terrifying to me. Every time anyone says that a band is the greatest in the world, it's meaningless to anybody apart from the person that's saying it. And all music is valid. All music is the greatest in the world to somebody. And that's kind of where we have to land and get on with everybody. Understand other people, respect their choices, listen to their music. Sometimes you're going to like it, sometimes you won't. Move on. But we're all here for a limited period of time, and there's only a finite number of hours available for an almost infinite amount of music. There is an overwhelmingly huge amount of music in the world, and it's always being added to. And it's beyond possibility that any of us can ever sort of more than just scratch the surface of what's there. It's an absolute tragedy that I know there is more music, amazing music, that I won't hear than I will. And I cannot rest and just keep listening to sort of one band over and over and over again. That's kind of why I keep doing this, because I just want I know I'm never going to get there. I'm only sort of scratching the surface, as it were. But I'll never know what might be there if I don't try. So I keep trying. I'll see you on the next video, whenever and whatever that is. Until then, this is Jim over and out.